So I saw a headline. It's rare that I do a legitimate double take where I was like, well, what? Which that headline was from the Telegraph in the UK. Sea Shanty Band embroiled in modern slavery row. And, when I read it, I was like, if this is sex trafficking, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
That's my first question. First question. Well, actually, no, my first question is, yar? Right, that's my first question. But then my second question is, whom were being trafficked?
Right. And the third question, of course, is when will the Weller man come to bring us sugar and tea and rum? But so I was like, if this is sex trafficking, fuck you.
Yeah.
And the best part is like, there's some weird shit happening for sure, but no.
Okay, good. Now we can all breathe out and have a little giggle.
I mean,
exactly, because this is actually funny and not just
well, I'm not saying this doesn't get unspeakably fucking dark. Because it does.
Well, that means it's going towards child exploitation labor.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just like, man, you got the damn Diddy trial on TV right now. Everybody's doing the human trafficking. Like,
everybody's doing the human
old
trafficking.
hat.
It's old hat. Give me something fresh. And fresh.
Invent a new crime.
Yeah, come on.
Give me something fresh, like the mist that rolls off the Atlantic at dawn. So, back in late 2020, when the boredom and madness of the pandemic was reaching a fever pitch, a curious online trend began on TikTok. People all over the world were singing sea shanties. The internet's newfound appreciation for pirate music would, of course, lead a gang of suburban RV salesmen and Munchausen by proxy Facebook moms to stage a mutiny at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi's interns had to swab the poop desk. Yes, I'm blaming January 6th on sea shanties. But
A to B to C, I see it.
yeah,
I mean, the connections are there.
that's when it happened. I remember it was like December of 2020. Kids are singing the Blow the Man Down, and the next thing you know, everyone's climbing the walls at the Capitol. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to read first what has been reported, and then I'm going to go into the crazy rabbit hole I found, because there is what's being reported, what they can say officially.
Yeah.
And then there is a trap door where if you dig any deeper, you fall forever down the craziest goddamn thing ever.
Yeah.
When they're pressing you into sea service, that's called being Shanghaied.
Yeah. And you're joking, but that's gonna happen later. Allegedly. So, I'm gonna give you the straight dope. This is all in the newspaper. This is Fiona Parker writing for the Telegraph. So, just 2 years ago, the old-time sailors were riding high on a wave of renewed interest in sea shanties.
I'm sorry, Old Time Sailors is the name of the band?
That's the name of the band.
Really?
The Old-Time Sailors.
What were they doing? Were they doing fucking nursing homes? Come on. Something a little bit more creative.
Yeah,
come on.
that's very derivative.
So, a TikTok-fueled renaissance of folk music, banjos, and foot stomping saw the West County Sea Shanty Band play at Glastonbury for the first time.
You're kidding.
With a 20-piece group led by Captain Nick Moffat. So, sorry, Nick. I'm going to be saying Captain Nick a lot.
No, that's okay.
You can be Rear Admiral Nick,
that's fine.
or Admiral Nick. There we go.
No, Rear Admiral.
Yeah. So they are, as of this recording, set to return to Glastonbury next month, which is fucking crazy. Also, 20-piece bands, by the way.
Yeah, that's a big
orchestra, man.
That's like a Mumford and Sons and an Of Mice and Men together.
This is Mumford and Sons, grandsons, cousins, aunties, uncles. This is everybody.
That's a high school band.
Yeah. The polyphonic Shmee.
He did it, you son of a bitch.
Oh, boy. So, however, the group has now become the subject of bizarre online speculation following the arrest of 6 men in the wake of a collision between a van and a lorry in Devon, southwest England, on Monday.
A lorry's a type of truck. It's
truck.
not just some lady named Lori.
Right,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes. For people listening, a lorry is a truck. So the collision on Dolven Road happened at 7:30 a.m. on Monday, May 19th. Sergeant Tom Otley of Devon and Cornwall Police said, quote, as part of our response to the initial incident, we identified several of the occupants of the van as being potential victims of exploitation offenses. They are receiving specialist support and being safeguarded at this time. So a van full of pirates crashed in the woods in England. The cops show up and a bunch of people ran out of the van going, help, I'm a slave!
Rescue me from this band.
Yes! And you have to imagine they're dressed as pirates when this happens. So shortly after, officers carried out a search at an address in the Gulworthy area, which led to the identification of further potential victims. And this is his quote, as part of this investigation, we have arrested 6 males on suspicion of modern-day slavery offenses, which I love that England has, like, hey, what is the charge? Modern slavery.
Old-timey sailors, modern-day slavery.
I mean, they've had them longer than we have. Shit. I just wonder did they have the Whitestone, the van?
It's a Sprinter. And what's crazy is...
Oh, so they did have the Whitestone, the van, to keep it white.
This ain't the first time this has happened.
Old Naval.
They crashed a van last August. Seemingly the same van, except this one went straight into a goddamn tree.
Oh, wow.
Like there's a slight curve in the road, and you can see like
A mutiny on the Dodge Transit.
straight into the tree. Their leader, Captain Nick. So yeah, the cops took all the people that were saying they were slaves, and now Captain Nick has responded to the Telegraph, and he says that as far as he knows, none of his band members have been arrested.
Oh.
So even though the cops just said they arrested people,
I don't know nothing about this.
right. He says no one is on the run. Why would anyone do that? He said, makes no sense at all denied, it's all fake. No one's a slave and
Fake
everyone's
news.
okay.
Fake news.
Straight up, yeah, fake news. Yeah. The failing Kingston Times says I'm a slaver.
This was that cunt Rupert Murdoch spreading lies again.
Poppycock. I love anytime you have to give a quote to the newspaper, and that quote is, no one's a slave.
Right.
Everyone's okay.
You fucked up somewhere.
It's going to happen a lot more often than it used to.
That's literally the quote, y'all. It says, no one is a slave and everyone is okay. I feel like some people might be slaves.
We just start using that. Just anyone says, hey, man, you all right? Like, yeah, man, nobody's a slave. I'm okay. Like, we're good. We're all good. Come on.
There's no slaves here.
There's no slaves here. We're fine. We're all fine.
Entirely volunteers in the
It's just
car.
nothing but
just
volunteers,
a van
Don.
full of volunteers who are running away screaming.
Yeah.
So Captain Nick says, we have begun criminal lawsuits against the persons behind this hate campaign. I was like, there's no such thing as a criminal lawsuit.
Yeah.
It's either a crime or a lawsuit.
Well, that's how it works in other countries, but here in Pirate Land,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
sue someone for criminal libelous libel lies.
We pointed the cannon at the judiciary.
I met my solicitor for Hamsani, and he said, oh, Nick, you've done it again.
I love how Trumpy this is. We don't believe in social media trials. We only believe in a democratic system of innocent until proven guilty with fact-checking and hard evidence.
You just got to put the swerve on it. It just sounds exactly like him. Yeah, dude.
That's freedom of speech. I was just exercising my freedoms of speech to yell at people and not pay them for work that they do for me.
Now let's buckle our swashes. However, The Sun reported that musicians working for the band were being kept in a farmhouse in East Devon and earning little or no money. So this is the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're playing fucking Glastonbury.
There's 20 of them.
There's 20
they're
of them.
keeping them in a barn because
Yeah.
they won't fit in a house.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, granted, the way the music industry is now, to have a band with 20 members, this is the economics of the band.
Oh, yeah. After all the money's divvied out, all of them owe on the tour. So
Straight up, dude.
Particularly for a band that just does 19th century folk music.
Yes, entirely sea shanty.
It's just we're going to get into the little competition among the shanty bands.
Oh.
But
Someone's rolling out the A and B shanties, getting ahead of themselves.
rolling out the cannons, fire. So on Wednesday, a post on the Old Time Sailors Facebook page said, quote, "As many of you now will be aware, there have been some recent scandalous accusations, speculations, and fabrications about the Old Time Sailors. We're aware of a number of articles currently online and categorically state that none of what is being said is the actual truth. It is what might sadly get acknowledged these days as an online hate campaign." That's right. They're being canceled, folks. The pirates are finally being canceled.
You'd think they started Disneyland with
All I did was raid a bunch of ships and press a bunch of children into service. Here I am getting cancelled.
Jean Lafayette is weeping.
Cool.
The post said the group was a collective of musicians who tour as a family. Adding,
Wow, that's red flag. Dude.
Yeah. Same as if you work at a restaurant and they say we're a family here. It means you're about to get fucked.
Adding, yes, it's true. We live and travel collectively. We share our costs and overheads. We just have a love of music and performing. So, to your point, we just have a love of making Chick-fil-A sandwiches here. No need to call any
we
sort
share
of
all
oversight.
of our overheads and I keep all of our profits. It's fair.
Allegedly.
We're family here, Arby's. Everybody can have
Anyone
all
who
the
says
cheese sauce
otherwise
they want.
has pirate derangement syndrome. Just hating on pirates. Just because I got a chest of gold, you're just jealous.
So, gonna build a fleet. Beautiful fleet.
Oh, he's doing that. It's not going to be fun for anybody.
The poster on the Facebook group then claimed that following the departure of one group member, the band had received a very threatening email indicating what could be made to happen if it did not do certain things. But we didn't respond.
Change from a major to a minor town.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it happens. Accusations, lies, horror stories, and ruinous allegations. So that's their side. They're saying this is just haters want to hate on their shanties. So the old
One person was kicked out of their thruple and then they tried to join another polycule. 2 separate groups within the band, Yeah.
It just shatters everything,
Just
man.
bad vibes.
Quit fucking your bandmates, dudes.
and to our UK listeners, I adore you, but your town names are fucking hilarious. The Old Time Sailors were due to perform at a festival in Powderham near Exeter on Sunday, but were taken off the lineup earlier this week due to doing slavery.
Can't go to Powderham because we got cancelled for slavery.
And they were due to play the O2 Academy in Bournemouth today.
Bournemouth.
I know it's Bournemouth, but it's funny that's like,
Yeah.
you know that smell that comes out of a baby when it's born. Gross.
Bournemouth.
You've got born mouth. Did you eat a placenta this morning? But that event got canceled due to slavery.
Due to slavery, yeah.
Yeah. And then last little tidbit. This is Maxine Denton writing for Cornwall Live. In April, a GoFundMe campaign, because you might be wondering, like, what are they so mad about, these alleged slaves? In April, a GoFundMe campaign was set up by Philip Harrison, who said he was the father of one of the 2024 Old Time Sailor group members. He claimed that 14 members of the band had not been given a single penny for 6 months of work.
A single pence, you say?
Yeah, not a fucking pence.
Not even a sixpence.
They didn't even take one coin, break it apart and giving me a bit of a coin.
Yeah.
I said you could give me a bit of a coin and I'll be happy.
This is literally someone wouldn't give him a hey penny for a song. Mr. Harrison also alleged that the band members had to pay $1,200 each for their flights to and from Argentina.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
They don't got their own old-timey sea shantymen in Argentina.
No, they do. Here's what's fucking crazy. Argentina has the biggest Irish population in the non-English speaking world.
No shit.
So there is a long culture of like Celtic folk songs amongst the Argentine whites. But like, okay, so this is what's fucking crazy. Like, I wanted to get all that out of the way because
Are we at the trapdoor? Is this the trapdoor?
it's creaking underneath our feet. But that's the thing is like these people aren't British. They're all or mostly from Argentina, as is Captain Nick.
What?
He's Argentinian.
He's fucking Argentinian.
What?
So allegedly, this is again on this GoFundMe, like most of the members of the band came from Argentina, and Mr. Harrison said any money raised would go directly to those unpaid members of the group, which is, again, most of them. And when Cornwall Live rang the telephone number listed for the band on its website, a man answered who said he was not part of the band, but he had been friends with some of them for years. The man, who did not want to give his name, said they were, quote, good guys.
Well, shit. Case closed, guys.
Okay, so that's the official reporting, and now we're going down the rabbit hole, or should I say, we're going below deck. Let's get into the accusations, lies, horror stories, and ruinous allegations. And I must state for the record that I am being paid by the George Soros-backed Landlubbers Association to say false things about these trustworthy buccaneers. So first of all, again, all of this is alleged and lies. First of all, Captain Nick Moffat is actually Argentine national Andres Nicolas Guzman, and boy, do I have a whale of a tale to tell you. This guy is making waves. He's rocking the boat in a very serious way amongst the shanty community. A day after the car crash, a Spanish shanty band called El Pony Pisador posted a video on YouTube with pretty convincing evidence of plagiarism. So, like, they crash the van, they get arrested for slavery, and now every shanty band in England is like, you know what? Actually, fuck the old-time sailors. So,
bunch of song stealers.
yeah. And I watched the goddamn video.
And it's pretty convincing.
So it's in English. You can watch it. It's they're from Spain. They're called El Pony Pisador, and the pony says that the old-time sailors ripped off their music, their arrangements, and even some of their dance moves. And they've got like side-by-side video, and you're like, I mean, goddamn, they did, because they have, first of all, like original compositions that they started doing with no credit and releasing. And then, from what I could tell, they also just took some of their music and put it in the background of their own Instagram posts as if they did it. Like, come see the old time sailors, and it's it's the
El Pony Pisador.
Yeah, the Pony Pisador. Yeah, and the comments on this video included claims from a shitload of old time sailors.
Well, there's 20 of them.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
they
that's at least 5 fucking each,
They've
right?
been touring with a different band since 2021.
True.
So
there's up to 150.
Right?
Yeah,
There's literally hundreds of these guys.
You've really
walking
gone
around.
up to the Boston Pops level of orchestra by this point. Yeah.
So someone named Andy Fimple said that while he didn't go on the 2024 tour, he did rehearse with the Old Time Sailors for 2 months. Quote, the psychological abuse was so constant that I had to leave the band to protect my mental health. It's worth noting that each rehearsal lasted 7 to 8 hours, and they didn't give us a single cent.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Rough.
Fimple goes on to call the Old Time Sailors a cult full of psychopaths.
Wow.
So,
What the fuck, man?
another commenter, Abel Tana, claimed to be the former guitarist for the Old Time Sailors. He said, quote, it took me a long time to process what I went through. During the tour, I felt we had no rest and our effort wasn't appreciated, and we weren't paid for the work we did with so much passion. It took a toll on my health and well-being.
So wait.
Yet another commenter, Imi Perea, said he was on the 2023
He
tour.
said, Captain Nick severed my brain, so a separate version of me was forced to just live a life of only playing music inside a barn, and the other side of me didn't know what happened in the barn.
Well, what's crazy is I watched some of their videos, and the way they play, it looks fun as shit. Because they roll up with 30 people,
Cults often look like they're having fun.
But I
while
think
they're doing that weird shit, that's the only time they're allowed to feel joy.
right. No,
I'm sure those
that's
Scientologists
true.
you see on the street are always fucking smiling, right?
Well, no, because the Scientologists don't have talent. These are a bunch of people
Very talented.
with actual talent. Like the Scientologists is just like weird and standoffish. Like this is a cult that rolls up in your town and throws a party with 30 people, which we know. Nick and I being comics and Miles having been to a lot of comedy shows, like that's a party.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's a small venue, whatever.
So it's Charlie Manson, but he achieved his dreams.
Kind of. Yeah. That's not far off. There's
a time for living.
Yeah. That's actually
including the slavery.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Anything is better than garbage dump.
Right. Like if Charles Manson had taught Squeaky Fromme how to play the tambourine, then maybe they would have made it.
We would have been living in a lot different world.
Yeah. But they show up, and I watch some of their videos, and like, it seems like a fucking blast because there's 30 people dancing around playing instruments. They've got like brass. They've got, there's a million instruments, and they're singing fun folk songs that they're meant for drunk people to sing along to. So
it's like Gogo Bordello, but English.
Yeah, very. Actually, I was trying to think of a good example because yes, it's like, very similar to Gogo Bordello.
It's because it like fits into the genre. Like if you take a sea shanty and you try and sing like a soulful love song about your gay lover who was murdered, like yeah, you might succeed if you're Cosmo Jarvis, but the rest of us have to actually
right. Oh yeah, this guy Imi Pereira said he was on the 2023 tour. Captain Nick is an exploiter and made us work for 6 months, earning a salary that isn't a quarter of a basic salary in this country.
Since this is Argentina, I'm assuming that's a good bit, like a living salary.
No, they currently have allegedly a shitload of lawsuits in Argentina because this guy. All right, so the deal is he's bringing these guys. So he's from Argentina, so he goes, finds young musicians and says, I've got a badass deal in the UK. I'm in this big band. Y'all should come to the UK. And once you get there, you're going to get paid. So these guys have to pay for their own plane ticket with the promise of being paid once they go on this massive tour. But here's the thing. Captain Nick doesn't let them come on a work visa, which would entitle them not only to payment, but also to suing him.
To legal protections within the country.
So they come on a vacation visa, and Nick extends it just long enough for the tour, and once the tour is over, see you later.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
and they've played Glastonbury before.
They've played it.
Glastonbury's probably going to have to pay out. Like,
I mean,
you can't like accidentally use slavery. Like,
that's accidentally use slavery.
Yeah.
Oops, all slaves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only for manufacturing our clothes, Miles, okay?
Yeah.
That same commenter says, last year, for example, they left 2 Argentinian kids in Exeter in the middle of nowhere.
Jesus.
This was a total abandonment of the kids, forcing them to enter the country without a working visa. The leader is a narcissist and a manipulator, and he owes a lot of money to a lot of people. Escudero Oceano. I was on the 2023 tour. This is on one YouTube video about these guys.
Fuck, man.
We suffered psychological and physical abuse at the hand of Nicolas Guzman. We all worked hard for 6 months, and he only paid us for 1 month. There were multiple car accidents. The driver, this is like...
Okay, we're getting to the van part now.
Yeah.
Why did the van crash?
Because we slept a maximum of 3 hours and ate once a day, and the musicians were made to drive the van.
Oh,
so
it's just physical exhaustion.
So these guys are doing barn burn tours of the UK. So they're doing 3 shows a day. Their shows are like long, and if you watch them, they're literally dancing around the entire time.
Yeah.
So it's basically 6 solid hours of physical exertion plus playing music. And then it's like, all right, you and your van, you and your van, you and your van. Who's the least tired? And then they got to drive to somewhere else in the UK.
Ooh, fuck,
so
man.
they keep crashing.
Yeah,
at least Skinner had a plan.
I know, right? Alberto Nicolas Lamberti Muir. I played with the Old Time Sailors in 2021. We experienced lots of mistreatment, and in the end, they didn't pay anyone. It was modern slavery.
Hey, there's the phrase.
Yeah.
He said the phrase.
He did.
So, like I said, this is, we're not just talking about the pony from Spain. 2 days ago, a guy on Facebook named Tom Powell went in on Captain Nick. Tom Powell is part of another shanty band called...
God damn it.
called the Jack Tars.
Oh, buddy.
Quote, I am writing this now seething in rage.
Oh, do it in the voice.
Oh, yeah. I'm writing this now seething in rage at the inability of the UK venues and people to list the countless victims who have suffered at the hands of the old time sailors. They won't step up and do the right thing to cancel this slave circus once and for all. So Tom is in a...
Tell us how you really feel.
Fuck, man.
So, yeah, that was Kiss's follow-up to Psycho Circus in 98. It's the slave circus! Where's everybody going?
Who wants to lick my slave?
So Tom goes on to say that his sea shanty band, the Jack Tars, went to see the Old Time Sailors in 2021. And at this point, just said, like, fuck these guys. But then
Yeah.
he takes a minute to stop and complain about the verisimilitude of the sea shanties because the band didn't do all 19th century stuff. So I love this fucking nerd is like,
God
someone
damn it.
needs to talk about this atrocity that's happening. The man's inhumanity to man. By the way, they did do a shanty version of Start Me Up by the Stones, and that was fucking wrong. You know? Like, that is what he was saying. He was like, there was some stuff from the 70s in there. And I was like, Tom, stick to the fucking
Yeah, burying
issue.
the lead here, buddy.
Yeah.
If you're doing old-timey sea shanties and I hear anything post-1982, I'm going to stab you in the front.
Oh, it was crazier than that. He was complaining about them doing like Irish revolutionary songs. You're like, bitch, it's no one.
adjacent.
That's
It's
the
absolutely
20s.
adjacent.
They had ships in the 20s.
Yeah.
You know, they were still there's still Irish guys singing on boats fucking now. I'm sure, right now. So, and I'm sure they're singing Doja Cat as a shanty. That's fine. So, Tom says he met Captain Nick and that, quote, he said he should come out and play our festival and that he knew everything about us already. A little strange, but what can you expect from a man who studied psychology and runs a cult?
Oh.
So
So-
that's creepy. That's like when you meet somebody who's like, oh, I feel like I already know everything about you. And they had just started as a band too. And he's like, okay, weirdo.
I love your aura.
Yeah. But like, he's
I
not,
love your aura.
but you
can't even
know,
be fucking English,
Nick,
yeah.
someone's offering you a gig at a you're like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
I go.
fucking glass.
And then,
Well, no, this was their festival.
oh.
So the Jack Tars played the OTS festival, and they were, of course, as Nick and I well know, were paid in exposure, food, and whatever got put into the hat.
they got food?
They got, yeah, exactly. Yeah. They got comedian wages for the show. So things went well, but Tom says, quote, there were a few strange things I noticed, like the captain eating huge meals.
Like the slaves.
The captain sitting at a lavishly piled table with roasted goose and boar.
It's some more. You want some more? Crew?
Like, I told you this turns into a pirate thing. He is Captain Hook at this moment. I noticed the captain eating huge meals alone at the pub while the rest of the crew wandered around looking exhausted and hungry. Tom then claims that Captain Nick began trying to poach members of his band and at one point tried to bring him on the road with OTS. That was after he was like trying to get his mandolin player. He's like, no, you fucking...
Listen, you've been a jack tar for a good little while now, right? But that sort of sounds like someone's jerking it and coming black stuff, right? Don't you want to be an old-timey sailor? Ain't nobody think of a ship, a hard wooden ship full of seamen and think of nothing sus.
What do? You join the Jack Tars. You could have been playing far out exciting shanties with the old time sailors.
I mean,
That
Jack
is-
Tars is such a better fucking side.
It
name.
is. It
It's
is.
such a better
It's
fucking
such
name.
a great day.
Little creativity. You don't have. You've got all this time because all your fucking slaves are doing the work. At least put some more fucking work in the goddamn name.
So in October of 2023, Tom says that the Jack Tars got booked to play during the day at the Conwy Pirate Festival. Again, shout out to England that there's enough of an economy for this music. Yeah. So
You know, I remember back in the day, they didn't used to book you. You'd turn up and you'd play. That's how it worked.
You'd force them at the point of a sword.
If there was another band who wanted the main stage, you fight them, and then whoever was still alive would form one jam band.
And the loser have to walk the plank.
This is how
Walk the
widespread
plank
power
and then stage dive.
If they don't have a plank on the edge of their stage,
Oh,
they're
oh,
fucking
yeah,
up.
yeah, they're fucking up.
Yeah. So they get booked to play during the day. They're not even a headliner. They're just on during the day during a fucking outdoor festival about pirates. So Captain Nick hears about this and he tried to get them to drop out because he said they were being booked to, quote, harm his band. And he continued, and this is Tom's word, he continues with some utter bollocks along the line of my stepfather, Jonathan Survey's man, has also requested that you withdraw from the event. And then he said, Please, Tom, I'm going to have to ask that you decline this gig, as Russell, the ex-Conway Pirate Festival committee member, didn't hire you because he wants you there. He hired you because he wants to use you, because he wants to pay musicians even smaller fees. Which
Wait.
I'm like, coming from him is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's projecting right there.
Yeah, straight up.
Like, this
100%.
guy, he's going to have you living in a barn.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
going to have you eating out of a trough, or he's eating big dinners at the pub.
Yeah.
Just black pudding and ale.
So
He's going to put you in a van, point it straight at a lorry, and leave you to see what happens.
So what I think is, apparently Captain Nick is related to one of the organizers of the Pirate Festival.
Oh.
There is another organizer of the Pirate Festival, and that guy's name is Jonathan. Russell is this other guy, and Captain Nick is claiming that Russell hired the Jack Tars to basically edge out the 30 members of the other band that they would have to pay. And so, meanwhile, the stepfather is advocating for his stepson to basically be the entertainment of the festival, I think is what he's saying.
I mean, yeah, you got 30 people who are slaves. You can probably make them play the entire night and day. Right?
Yeah. And Tom was so busy talking about them playing modern music instead of traditional shanties that he didn't explain what the fuck happened. It was so confusing. But I went and looked at this. So somehow, this is what the news said, somehow a rift between the committee members resulted in the 2023 Conway Pirate Festival being canceled.
God damn it.
So I was like, the old time sailors fucked this festival.
Yeah.
Okay,
They didn't
I've
get paid
been
anyway.
part of a few organizations that have imploded due to drama. Okay, my partner gave themselves the nickname of the Ruiner because of how many organizations she'd pulled the ripcord on.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck, man.
Like, this is, if anything deserves
Well,
it,
at least your
it's
partner
the
did-
Pirate Festival that's using slave labor.
Yeah, that's modern slavery. Come on.
Probably a good one to not be around anymore.
I would like it if the whole committee was just those two guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fuck you, Jonathan.
Fuck you, Russell.
Fuck you, Russell. Okay. Did I tell you there's two trapdoors? There's two trapdoors.
You told us one trap door.
Oh, I lied.
We got a second trap door.
We got a sub-basement.
We've gone from the hole to the bilge, motherfucker.
Yeah, we're in the part where there's just water sloshing around in
The
rats.
bilge.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Then there's truth-teller.org
Oh boy,
and the
I love a .org.
You know when they're tweeting from truthteller.org that it's going to be real.
Here's what's crazy. When I saw the link, I was like, oh, this is like a blind item website. You know, like they have Hollywood blind items where it's like, oh, a certain action star was seen sucking dick behind the fucking Abbey or whatever.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Blind, whatever. And blind items are you're supposed to like infer from whatever. So I was thinking truth-teller.org must be blind items. If you go to truth-teller.org, it's just about the old time sailors.
God damn.
It's
dude.
fucking
It's their take. Listen,
Wow.
guys, if we're going to take these human trafficking, slaving, sea shanty men down, we're going to need to get the right URL that sends a message that
crazy.
everything that we're going to put up there is going to be a well-sourced, well-articulated takedown of Captain Nick and the evil shit that he been doing.
and
We'll
it
give him a
appears
full broadside.
well, and the best part is it appears to be Web 1.0, HTML.
Ooh, nice.
There's images that I'm going to show you one in a moment here of the most shocking
Does
thing.
it have the under construction with the flashing lights?
No, it should. It really should. But no, they're current with it. It's not under construction. It's fucking done, and it was updated yesterday.
Nice.
Fuck me, man. Hell
Pretty
yeah.
like a Squarespace, or is it?
No, they HTML
They
this shit.
did it themselves.
This
Good
is-
on them.
this
You
is
know what?
really impressive,
In
yeah.
2025,
I'm saying
you know,
this guy is for sure our age. Like he and did MySpace, knows how to HTML.
Does a song play in the background? Is there any scrolling text?
No, just straight less than sign AHERF, etc.
Here for
Huh.
Yeah.
God damn.
So someone put up a website that details all the crimes against the band. So here's some of the website's claims. Again, this is from truth-teller.org. There are 4 active court cases in Argentina regarding the unpaid wages from the 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024 tours.
God damn.
So I mentioned that one. Band members were allegedly isolated at a farm in Devon with limited freedom of movement. Leaving the project without personal funds was nearly impossible because Apparently, he took your passport on one
there it
tour.
is. Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Okay.
Oh, now we're fully in cult territory. Yeah.
You could just fucking go to the goddamn embassy if you had your passport.
Well,
Shit.
apparently that was just on the one tour, you know? Yeah, but how are you going to get to the fucking Argentinian embassy if you're in the middle of nowhere in goddamn Wales, basically?
Yeah.
And with no car? You're going to walk? There's no Argentinian embassy in fucking anywhere near them. Like,
You walk and you wave
were
your hands.
fucked.
Like, hey, man, can you take me to the Argentina?
I suppose.
Take me to London town.
You crash into a lorry,
Yeah,
and then when the police come, you
run out screaming.
explain
You
what's
go to
going
Cornwall,
on,
you eat some
which
Stargazy
leads
pie,
to a raid. And
You have a warm beer, and then you go, hey, can anyone take me to London town? And they're like, oh, I thought the train's coming.
Members who voiced concerns were secretly recorded and punished through group isolation, fines, or ejection from the tour.
So they had struggle sessions.
They had recording devices everywhere, allegedly. Multiple members...
That's a cult.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Multiple members were allegedly expelled from the middle of the tour in the middle of the night without money or personal belongings. And a photographer who was denied pay was coerced into handing over his content and left stranded. So even like the
Don't give
crew
them
is
the
getting
fucking cards,
fucked.
man. Come on.
Don't.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit on this website for sure. So definitely check that out. But
What's
there's
the point?
also a notorious Reddit post that everybody
the front page of the internet. So I believe.
so a Reddit post from 1 month ago posted by a user named OK_match_526 goes into detail about the old time sailors. Some of their allegations. Captain Nick got his PhD in social psychology in New York.
Dr. Captain Nick.
After that, he worked in finance and created contacts with politicians and companies. Apparently, he is very well connected with the political elite, and some people insinuated the mafia of Argentina.
Don Captain Nick.
Straight up. And apparently he talks a lot about his wealth and also about being poor. He acts like he's in the nomadic life, but gives himself a lot more luxuries than the band members are allowed. So we covered that. Also, apparently, he doesn't even go to these gigs anymore. He's gotten them so broken that he's just like, Playboy Fido, as he casts them off into the hinterland to dance and tarry.
Warhol used to do that and get his acolytes to do his art and just sign his name at the end.
Right. Yeah, he's Rembrandt, guys. So Cap Nick wears the same outfit every day, a white and red
Gross.
striped top, navy blue chinos, brown boots, and a sailor hat. He also has a thick beard with a mustache curled upwards at the ends. He is a self-proclaimed sexual sadist.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
That's a big... I was
That's-
about to ask what kind of style of a sailor hat. Was it a tricorn or a bicorn? But god damn.
Or cocked
Okay.
is the official terminology
Full
for a
fucking
tricorn.
cocked.
But yeah.
God, Jesus.
He has a very unhealthy relationship with alcohol and cocaine. He is
You don't say.
He is a control freak and has crazy rules that he implements by as a means of keeping control.
Oh, a cocaine freak has crazy rules. You do not say.
He is known to be verbally and physically abusive to band members and has in the past been physically violent to an ex-member and once tried to attack a UK citizen who was at the time a minor, both in front of witnesses.
Tried to beat up a kid.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. You laughing at my shanty, fuckface.
Quit laughing at me hat.
Yeah.
Where's me parrot?
So,
By parrot, I mean cocaine.
so the old time sailors work every single day, traveling for hours, doing 2 to 3 hour high energy shows every single day.
Fuck that.
Wonder
yeah.
if they were drinking Rapster to try and
I
stay
mean-
juiced, you know?
Cap Nick has his inner circle called the core members, who are band members that have done one or more tours and are trusted by him. So if you let him break your
This is
brain,
squeaky. These are the Manson family.
It's his hierarchy.
Absolutely.
Cult hierarchy.
the core group puts people in place, as
His
well
first
as
mates.
the core group puts.
Boatswain.
They're going to pass out the Kool-Aid and the last right before their
Oh,
last
yeah.
I
performance.
wonder who he gives the bosun's whistle to. I've always wanted one of those things.
The core puts people in place, as well as carrying out Captain Nick's orders, which means they break the law, such as fraudulent activity. So he's just a guy being like, "Oh, talk to Stephanie about the check," and then she's like, "I don't know about the check. You talk to Rita," and then they just go in a circle until the person gets deported back to Argentina.
God damn.
Again, this is their allegation. Captain Nick has a predatory history for young girls, publicly skimming the line of
Wow.
legality.
Well, you know what? I figured it was coming, and it finally did.
Yep. And then there's the company script.
The company script. Fuck, what is this, a coal town? Jesus Christ.
In 2024, the old-time sailors were given fake money by Captain Nick that they had to use with a new system in place called the System of Distinction.
Holy shit.
Where, like Harry Potter, they got put into 4 houses.
Wow. When you're cribbing from J.K. Rowling as a pirate, man,
Right?
you just hit rock bottom at this point, man.
At which point, they were given the distinctions, which are Monopoly-style money.
Is that Captain Nick on the front? Or
That's
did
right.
he steal that picture?
That is a cartoon of Captain Nick, and it has his face on it, and it also says the old-time sailors, and then underneath his face, in Poseidon we trust. Oh,
Hey, neo-Roman paganism. Hooray.
so the Chuck E.
J3.
Cheese bucks could be used to buy beers, cider, Coca-Cola. Those things were previously given for free as part of the group's rider.
What about rum? No rum?
It says beers, yeah.
No rum for the underclass.
All right.
Fuck that. Give you my
No rum
gravy
for
grog.
the below deckers.
Everybody gets a shot of grog. Come on.
Right, but also this shit was free on the previous
Yeah.
tours because as a touring band you can ask venues for this.
He's getting them for free, and then he's making them pay him.
He's distributing them
With
money
fake
that he
money
made.
with his Michael Scott
that he's
bucks.
making them buy with real money.
So there's no point.
No.
There is no point.
No.
just like all cults, it's just control.
You could also use the Captain Bucks to get marijuana joints supplied from the
Oh.
captain's own stash, or tobacco, or
Cocaine?
a night in one of the caravans if you got a girl and wanted to bring her back to base.
Oh.
Which, first of all,
Listen, baby. Usually we'd be hooking up in the barn in front of 30 dirty fellas, but I spent me captain dollars and I got us a night in the RV. What you say?
yeah, straight up. Yeah. It's like, can we go to my place? No, unfortunately not.
I'm not allowed to leave the property.
Yeah.
Captain's got me passport.
I don't know why I got this accent. I'm actually Argentinian.
Yeah, that's
This
right.
is an Argentinian accent. BTW. Be surprised my high school English teacher had a German accent. Don't think about it too hard.
So the value of the company script went up and down in price depending on the day. Nobody ever knew the value of the fake money. By the
Well, no, it's a supply and demand based system.
It's not a gold-backed currency.
But-
It's just like USD, baby.
you could also earn positive points or negative points. So I couldn't figure out if that was like in addition to the fake money, but
It's
yeah.
a separate currency system. Now we've got a social system as well,
Yeah,
modeled off
it's-
the
I
Chinese
think-
social media system of ranking citizens by their usefulness to the state.
I seriously think it is that. But it was.
you kid, but
I think it's that.
I mean,
Well, I guess he's saying distinction, and that's the name of the currency. So it's like doubloons, dollars,
this guy
pesos,
is so
distinction.
fucking bad at names. Why is he? If he's a PhD in what, social science? Why are you so fucking bad at names?
Get better at names, bro.
Well, yeah, get better at names, you charismatic slave owner.
So the best way.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
The best way to get positive distinctions was to rat on their fellow bandmates.
Oh wow, there it is.
That's how cults work,
That's
yep.
how it works. Yeah.
The highest earnings would be if they told on someone who had said anything negative about the captain.
Oh, you want to buy a Coke, do you? Well, I heard that you was unhappy about having to share the RV last night with 3 other fellas who was all bringing ladies home. Well, now you got to pay me 10 captain dollars for a Coke.
Shit, 3 ladies, baby. Hey,
said-
there's 30 people in this band. Talked about 10 people in the fucking van. Shit.
You said my mustache wasn't as jaunty today. That's 10 whippings. So they would also get negative distinctions or positive distinctions if someone was late for ratting out someone who was late. Or left something in the wrong place or hadn't cleaned properly. So
Cleaned what?
I guess their farmhouse
They
live
didn't-
in.
Their dirty hovel, their
Yeah.
patch of ground that they were
They
living
didn't
on.
white stone the
And
barn?
like ratting out people who aren't there. That's literally like, Who's not here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's 30
Greg's not here. Well, Greg's getting it, and you got a positive distinction for being a piece of shit rat.
I will say, Nick, I don't know how big your class sizes were growing up, but when we hit high school, like we started to hit 30 fucking people.
we
per class.
topped out at 30, so yeah, it makes
And so it kind of makes
yeah.
sense when like one person goes missing and that teacher does not give a shit.
No, they don't get paid enough to care.
But
But
then
when
again-
you're running a cult, you generally
Well, he
try
obviously
and-
doesn't fucking give a shit
No, he
because
doesn't
he
care
just
at
keeps
all.
cycling through these poor fucking slaves.
Well, so if you lost your fake captain dollars, you would have to, like, if you went into the negative, like if you spent them all and then people started saying you were talking shit and you had to pay up, you would have to pay that back with real money. So
There it is. Yeah.
this was a tactic to turn band members against one another, and since most of them have no money to begin with, they can't afford to be considered a problem, so they play the game to survive. And if they have no money to buy themselves treats as the tour goes on, this is their only option. The group that won in the end was the group with the most core members, usually. However, only the core members got the reward, whereas the others in the group received nothing. So even in this fake game that he made up with company script, he didn't even give them, like, if you're in the group with like 4 guys that are all core members, you don't get shit if you're a new guy. Anyway, as I was reading all of this, I was just like, I want to just, you know how when you were playing hide and seek back in the day and you would touch base and say Butterfingers? I'm saying Butterfingers on this Netflix documentary, okay? Because I found it first. Obviously, I didn't find it first.
No, but you know it's coming.
You correlated all the facts.
I'm just saying. And to my point, there was a guy in the Reddit that the mods had confirmed is legit, a BBC producer being like, please email me, please call me. We're working on a story.
I gotta beat the Tiger King guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking yeah.
So what's the point? Trying to be the best pirate captain you can be?
So, well, that's
just fucking Barbary Coast motherfucker over here?
that's the thing, is like the dream of capitalism is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So expect lower and lower stakes cults to just pop up everywhere as we roll along. So,
Yeah,
as
no,
we
I was in a sea shanty pirate cult. It was a bad time.
That's what I'm saying. We're reaching that level. Like, we should have known when they, that Mother of God woman, they found her mummified, covered in Christmas lights in Colorado.
and the
about that.
Zizzians, they're another sea cult.
The
They lived in
Zizzians.
boats.
Yeah, the AIC cults. Yeah.
They lived in boats to turn themselves into psychopaths.
Right. Yeah. And what's funny is, like, these people are toured around in vans, but I will quote my eminent co-host Sam Harder when he said, "Being on boats too long will ruin your brain."
Yeah.
Well, who's that a quote of? Like, there's 2 kinds of men and men who have been to sea.
I mean, I don't know, but that person had a maniacal breakdown and fucking buried his family in a
Was that
vacant
Melville?
That
lot.
person was
I wanna say that's
exploited by
Melville.
an old-timey sea shanty band.
Yeah. So what's the point? The point is, be on the lookout for this documentary. Watch out for the doco.
Doco.
And also, like I said, as the pie gets smaller and smaller, the cults are going to get weirder and fucking weirder. They're already weird, but we'll never, much in the way that we'll never have another Michael Jackson because the monoculture's dead, much of the way that God died years ago, we will also never have another Jonestown. We're never going to have like a 937 kill count for a cult leader. It's going to be...
Unless it's just a
This.
bunch of random dudes who have listened to AI too much.
Yeah, that's true. But even that I think is limited in its scope.
Yeah, the Zizzians only got like 5 people. I mean,
Right.
that's
They were an
big
AI
sales.
cult. Yeah, for sure.
But anybody who has an internet connection can just connect to these fucking things.
No, that's true. That's true. I think it casts a wider net, but also it plays into individuality, whereas this is more like, no, we bind ourselves together with the company script and the I take your passport thing. Now we're all together. It's
Post-truth society.
absolutely
Christ.
Yeah. So anyway, what's y'all's favorite sea shanty?
Northwest
I like
Passage?
running down to Cuba.
Oh, that's
a good one, yeah.
I like Fathom the Bowl. That's a good one.
I like Barrett's Privateers by Stan Rogers.
That's a
They just
good
quote
one.
the line of, Barrett was smashed like a bowl of eggs.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good visceral.
Also,
fucking-
if people want to check out something cool, the best version of Fathom the Bowl and my favorite version of My Son John, both sung by John C. Reilly on the Pirates and Sea Shanties collection that got mailed to the radio station sometime in like
God.
2007.
Yeah, dude. Shit.
It's just John C. Reilly just
doing
my
fucking
son
doing
John
it,
was
yeah.
tall and slim and he had a leg for every limb.
That's it.
So anyway, that's the news from Jolly-O.